Well, welcome again to the Mesa City Council meeting for March the 20th of 2023. I'll note for the record that all of our council are present at this meeting. We will begin this meeting with a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm excited that tonight our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by three of our great local Girl Scouts. So I'd invite everyone to please stand for the moment of silence and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Ladies, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'm particularly grateful that our Girl Scouts are with us today because of the first item of business that we have today, which is under awards and recognitions. I am excited that today we have one proclamation on the agenda, and I am proud to proclaim March of this year as Women's History Month in Mesa, Arizona. This month is a celebration of women's contributions to history, culture, and society. We have a remarkable group of women working at the City of Mesa at every level, from deputy city managers, department directors, and engineers to police officers, firefighters, electricians, and gas inspectors. Women play a huge role in operating our city, and I'd like to recognize them for doing a great job. And this is also a very special moment in history for the Mesa City Council. As you all know, right now is the first time we've had 3 women elected to the council. And I'd like to offer each of them some time to speak on the significance of this. Councilmember Duff, would you like to start?
Yes. Thank you very much. It is quite exciting. When I was elected in 2018, started serving in 2019, I was the only woman on council during that period. So I'm so thrilled to be joining Councilmember Goforth and Councilmember Spilsbury, 3 of us on council. I'm just thrilled to be able to serve with these phenomenal women. And in recognition of Women's History Month, I'd like to add that today, centuries later and inspired by those who came before them, women are still showing us the way, showing us what's possible and fighting to make our world a safer, healthier, and more equitable and just place for all. And I do want to take a moment and say thank you to the Girl Scouts for being here to lead the pledge. It is something that I've been wanting for the longest time, and it could be the first time that I've seen in my service that you're leading the pledge. So thank you very much for being here. Your representation is very meaningful. Thank you, especially in Women's History Month.
Thank you, Councilmember Duff. Councilmember Spilsbury.
Yes, thank you to our Girl Scouts, and I love how tall you are. Yay, tall power, I love it. I had to bring that up. I just also want to say how proud I am to be one of the 3 women on Mesa City Council for the first time in history. I have 5 daughters, and with just slightly over half of our Mesa population being women, it is so important that our voices are represented on the City Council. And I also want to say a huge thank you to the men in my life who honor women and who have always made me feel like my voice matters. And we have men on council and staff and my husband and other people in my life who I just think we need to also celebrate the men who help us women shine and who value our opinions, because women belong in all places where decisions are made. And so I love that we are here and that our voices get to be heard.
Amen. Thank you. Councilmember Goforth.
Excuse me. Thank you. I would also like to thank the Girl Scouts. It's fabulous to have you all here, and thank you for coming. I'm honored to serve on the City Council, to serve the residents of Mesa, to serve the women of Mesa. I'm honored to serve with these other 2 amazing women. Thank you for serving. Thank you for paving the way for me. We, among the 3 of us, we represent a broad spectrum of the women in Mesa. Some of us are wives, mothers, community leaders, business owners, advocates, and so we are proud to represent everyone in Mesa, including the women of Mesa. So I hope this is the beginning of many years of many, many women serving on our city council and leadership roles for the city. So thank you.
Amen, I agree. Let's go ahead and go down in front of the podium and take a copy of this, a photo of this proclamation, and then we'll begin the business portion of our meeting.
Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. I get to do the middle? Oh, look at that. We moved to the middle.
Thank you. That was a well-deserved proclamation. We all feel great about that. Moving forward with our agenda, next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Mr. Christopher, would you please come forward and read that for us?
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. These are the items on the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk will be considered as a group by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless a council member or citizen requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered as a separate item. Item 2, approval of minutes of previous meetings as written. Item 3A, act on liquor license application for Super Stop Liquor, 321 West McKellips Road. Item 3B, act on liquor license application for American Patriots Riders Club, 3-day event, March 24th, 25th, and 26th, 922 South Country Club Drive. Item 3C, act on liquor license application for Ultimate Imaginations, 1-day event, April 1st, 55 North Center Street. Item 3D, act on liquor license application for Ultimate Imaginations, 1-day event, April 15th, 1 North McDonald. Item 3E, act on liquor license application for Rustic Glows Events, 1458 East Main Street. Item 3F, act on liquor license application for Circle K, 824 West Broadway. Item 3G, act on liquor license application for East Valley Firefighter Charities, 1-day event, April 1st, 4927 East Falcon Drive. Item 4A, approving Mesa City Hall project, construction manager at risk, guaranteed maximum price number 2. Item 4B, approving contract for Southern Avenue and Country Club Drive roadway improvements, construction manager at risk. Item 4C, approving contract for water transfer station number 2 upgrades, construction manager at risk, guaranteed maximum price number 2. Item 4D, approving dollar limit increase to the contract to purchase microwave radio communications equipment and services for the Topaz Regional Wireless Cooperative H60 Public Safety Radio Expansion Site. The cost is shared between the City of Mesa and the 6 other members of the cooperative. Item 4E, approving dollar limit increase to the term contract for electrical services for utilities infrastructure for the Water Resources Department. Item 4F, approving purchase of 2 cable haulers for the Energy Resources Department as requested by the Fleet Services Department. Item 4G, approving dollar limit increase and 1-year renewal to the term contract for emergency vehicle equipment and installation services for the Fleet Services and Fire Medical Departments. Item 4H, approving use of a cooperative contract for emergency vehicle equipment and installation services for the Fleet Services and Fire Medical Departments. Item 4I, approving use of cooperative contracts for the dollar limit increase to the term contract for Motorola and Kenwood radio equipment, parts, network, and services for the Fire Medical Department. Item 4J, approving use of a cooperative contract for the 15-month term contract with 5 years of renewal options for Smart City Parking Solution Services for downtown Mesa for the Department of Innovation and Technology. Item 4K, approving use of a cooperative contract for the purchase of public Wi-Fi project design and installation for the Department of Innovation and Technology. The majority of fundings from the American Rescue Plan Act through federal allocations to Mesa. Item 4L, approving 5-month renewal of the term contract for PC cycle replacement and supplemental computers, ruggedized laptops, and tablets for various city departments, as requested by the Department of Innovation and Technology. Item 4M, approving term contract with renewal options for line clearance tree trimming services for Mesa's electric service area for the Energy Resources Department. Item 4N, approving 3-year term contract with 2 years of renewal options for transportation amenity cleaning and repairs for the Transportation Department. Item 4O, approving 1-year term contract and 4 years of renewal options for traffic signposts for the Materials and Supply Warehouse for the Transportation Department. Item 5A, approving resolution to enter into an amended and restated development agreement with Chicanos por la Casa for development of property on the northwest corner of Country Club Drive and Main Street. Item 5B, approving resolution to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with ADOT concerning maintenance responsibilities within the ADOT right-of-way for the Sossaman Road, Ray Road to Warner Road Arterial Improvement Project. Item 5C, approving resolution to extinguish 2 public utilities and facilities easements and a portion of other easements within the 3800 block of East McClellan to accommodate a new residential subdivision. Item 6A, introduction of ordinance regarding a property generally located east of Greenfield Road and south of US 60, rezoned with plan area development overlay and site plan review to provide housing accommodations for patients and their families at Banner Gateway Medical Center. Item 6B has been removed from the consent agenda. Item 7A, approving ordinance regarding zoning case 22-1270 for property generally located west of Country Club Drive and north of Baseline Road, rezoned with a bonus intensity zone overlay, council use permit, and site plan review to allow for a social service facility. And item 8A, approving subdivision plat for Power 42 on property located south of Elliott Road on the east side of Power Road. Mayor and council members, these are the items on the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Christopher. Ms. Mosley, do we have any requests to speak on an item that's left on the consent agenda?
No, Mayor, we have none.
Thank you very much. I see that Mr. Freeman has made a motion, seconded by Councilmember Summers. Please vote. Thank you. The vote is unanimous in favor of adopting the consent agenda. Next item first item we have off of the consent agenda is item 6B. This is the introduction of an ordinance and setting April the 3rd of this year as the date of the public hearing on this ordinance. This ordinance is amending the Mesa City Code to revise the formal procurement and council approval threshold and update and modernize the language. We do have 2 requests to speak on this item. So gentlemen, I invite you forward. We have 3 minutes to hear from each of you. We'll begin with Kerry Davis. Welcome, Mr. Davis.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. My name is Kerry Davis. I live at 7963 East Plata Avenue, Mesa, Arizona. Agenda item 6B, as I understand, increases the threshold for City Council approval for procurement expenditures from $25,000 to $100,000. I believe expanding the city manager's spending authority to $100,000 without City Council approval weakens the City Council's ability to exercise prudent fiscal oversight of government expenditures. Therefore, I strongly oppose item 6B and request the Mayor and City Council vote no on agenda item 6B. I reviewed Mesa's 2022 annual comprehensive financial statements and compared them with the cities of Phoenix, Tucson, Chandler, Gilbert, and Tempe. The City of Mesa's net position statement shows that Mesa has the highest level of debt compared with these cities. Mesa's change in the net position statement reflects that Mesa is the only one of these cities that overspent its general government activity revenues by $55 million. None of these other cities overspent their governmental activity revenues. Instead, they all reported surpluses. The City of Mesa transferred $115 million from the utility funds to the general governmental activity funds to cover its overspending. Due to the city's overspending, I fail to understand why the City Council is considering increasing the city manager's spending authority when it seems to me the city needs to improve fiscal oversight. And again, I request the mayor and city council vote no on agenda item 6B. I also want to thank those that serve on our council for the hard work that you do. I know that it's a difficult job and you spend a lot of time doing it, and I thank you for the service that you provide our community. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I'm sorry, we don't applaud. Thank you, though. Next is Mr. Peter Anello.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Peter Anello, live in East Mesa, and I'm here in opposition of this proposal. I believe that, I know in my family, if I'm going to do anything above a certain limit, I have to get agreement with my wife. And if you're going to be having the city manager have access to $100,000 without oversight from your committee, I think that's wrong. I think you need to have input into what the city manager is going to be spending and not give him carte blanche to spend $100,000. That's short and sweet. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anello. Let me just clarify, kind of set expectations here. Agenda item 6B is not the approval of the policy that is being discussed. It is setting a hearing for April the 3rd and giving public notice that there will be a hearing at that time to discuss this change. So the vote tonight is not on the merits of this proposal. The vote tonight is on setting a hearing to then have a vote on the merits of this. Having said that, I can't help but also remind people that this vote or this motion is happening following a vote of the citizens of Mesa that approved amending the charter to allow this idea to come forward. And yeah, the results from the voters was to yes, want the city council to address this in an ordinance and to amend the charter. So that's what set the stage for the vote that will, presuming that we do set that public hearing, that vote will be on April the 3rd. And so I'm sure we will have additional discussion on the merits of this idea at that public hearing on April the 3rd.
Is that at a normal council meeting?
Yes, yes. And the question was asked by Mr. Davis, is that at a formal council meeting? And yes, it is. It'll be the first Monday night of April 3rd, 5:45 in this room is when that meeting will take place. Council, any discussion on this item? Yes, Mr. Summers.
I'll do that. I've expressed concerns about this issue as well and the level of threshold. Again, to reiterate, this is just an introduction. So you get to come back here in a couple of weeks if you'd like to and do that again. I'm continuing to collect some information to make an informed decision on what that proper level is, because it is a policy decision, right? So we're moving these decisions off to the city manager's office, and the question is, how much do we want that to be? So I'm continuing to work on this. I got more information about this today and requested staff to come out. I'd like to thank Mike Kennington, our deputy city manager, provided me with some very timely information. I appreciate his efforts. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any additional discussion? We have a motion from Councilmember Freeman, seconded by Councilmember Spilsbury. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. So again, if you're interested in this topic, there will be a city council public hearing on this proposed ordinance on April the 3rd in this council meeting. Next item on our agenda is item 9A. This is to conduct a public hearing prior to the release of the petition for signatures for the annexation case for the proposed Legacy Gateway Hotels development located north of East Williamsfield Road on the west side of State Route 24. I declare the public hearing open. Ms. Mosley, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
No request, Mayor.
Thank you. Do any council members wish to address this item? I then declare the public hearing closed. Again, this is not an action item. The next item on our agenda is related to this. This is items 10A and 10B. These are introductions of the annexation and zoning ordinances for the proposed Legacy Gateway Hotels development for the development of multiple hotels and a retail pad. This is the introduction. The public hearing on these ordinances will be on April the 3rd, 2023, much like the last agenda item we were discussing. at that council meeting. Ms. Mosley, do we have any requests to speak on agenda items 10A or 10B?
No requests.
All right, thank you. Council, do we have any discussion on this item? Mr. Summers?
I'd just like to bring up, we did receive one public comment online, was in support of the project.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to proceed? Thank you. Councilmember Summers made a motion, seconded by Councilmember Spilsbury. Please vote.
In council, that's just for both items to move. For both items, we'll just do one motion.
Thank you very much. If there's no objection, we'll ask for one motion to introduce both of these ordinances. So this is for both agenda items 10A and 10B, both relating to the same subject matter. So. Thank you. And the second, Ms. Spilsbury, is for both 10A and 10B, correct? Thank you. That passes unanimously. So again, that annexation case will be up for a public hearing at our council meeting on April the 3rd. Next item on our agenda is items from citizens present. I do have 2 requests to speak. And I find them. Right, oh, I'm sorry, just 1 request to speak. That's why I was looking on the wrong side. Ms. Mosley, we don't have any other requests to speak, do we?
No, just Mr.
All right.
Farnsworth.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Mr. Verl Farnsworth. Mr. Farnsworth, welcome back. You have 3 minutes.
Mayor, Council, I think I, with the rest of you, would agree that the clouds that have been present over Mesa the last many months have brought a much anticipated moisture to our community, and has the prospect of relieving the concerns that we all have related to the drought conditions that we have all faced. But the cloud that I wish to address tonight is basically present with what you viewed when you came into your meeting tonight, that Mesa is covered with a cloud tonight. The cloud that I speak of tonight is one that is one of doubt, mistrust, uncertainty, disappointment, and a host of other feelings. I speak about the claims laid open 3 weeks ago regarding 15 elected and employed persons in the city of Mesa government, potentially involving activities that are repulsive, dishonorable, and possibly criminal. I've read many accounts that attack the messengers, but have yet to read or hear any statements from those accused denying any or all of the allegations that have been made. This cloud is so thick and dark and ominous that immediate action should be required. These accusations must be investigated and must be determined if there is any validity to them. This investigation is necessary for the confidence and the trust of the citizens of Mesa to be restored. Immediately, those individuals whose names are on that list need to respond by public statement to Mesa citizens. If there is no guilt, the answer will be easily and quickly made. The citizens of Mesa deserve to know the truth. To not speak is to speak. To misspeak is to lie, deceive, obstruct, fail, and ultimately make matters worse. If there is guilt, then there needs to be immediate resignations of all of those who are guilty. I'll leave a copy of the public list with the city clerk to become a part of the public record. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Farnsworth. I would love to respond to this, but we can't do that because this item is not on our agenda. But that's tough not to respond to that. Okay, we'll just proceed then. That is all the items on our agenda for this meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Mr. Freeman and Mr. Summers. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.